How about some more Who, this time demoed on the Nord Stage 3, but compatible with the Nord Stage 3 and the Nord Stage 4. We have our sample of the arpeggiated synth down here on the C key, right below a split. That's playing from panel B, and when you first load the program, B is what's going to be blinking, and that's where the sample is located here under the synth engine, and it does have the KB hold. So good news is you push it once, you don't have to worry about it at all. I think there's one or two measures towards the 2/3 mark in the song where they break into a different chord structure. The keyboard arpeggiated part drops out, so you'll have to just turn off the hold and then turn it right back on again, and then come in on the beat on that C, and you'll be good to go with the arpeggiated part. Then the right side of the split has that nice electric piano that you can use both to play those almost the harmony parts, and it's almost like a keyboard solo happening along with the arpeggiation. But the arpeggiation is a sample, so it includes the little bit of electric piano that plays on the original album. So let me just show you. So you load the sound, you hit the C key, and you can hear, besides the dominant arpeggiation, you also hear the little electric piano in the background there. But you can play along. I think an F minor or an F blues will work. That'll work. You might get away with an F natural scale. Or you can stay away from these notes and just kind of, or maybe stay away from the D flat. And then you'll hear that as part of the arpeggiation sprinkled in there. Keep in mind this is on a loop, so you're going to hear that over and over again. So it's not exactly like the album, but very good representation here. And play along. The drummer comes in. You'll have to follow the keyboards because that tempo isn't going to change. So the drummer might need to really hear this part as a dominant part of the song in order for you to stay in tempo. That's it. Just if you take the KBO hold off, it does a fade. But I'm almost wondering if that's not a good idea, because then if you take the KB hold off during that break, it'll linger. So let me take care of that right now in real time here. I'm going to go to this and just make sure that the release on this is less than 3.8 seconds. So we're going to go with maybe something far more abrupt, like a half a second, 500 and some odd milliseconds. So now when I play this and I push the KB hold, yeah, it'll fade out right away for that quick break, but turn it right back on and get ready to come in on the beat and start it all over again for the rest of the song. And that's all there is to it. There is a piano part that plays during that break too, but I don't think it's worth necessarily firing it up. I took the sound from the Nord user forum, so it's a cheat in terms of I didn't make this sound, but I did doctor it up a little bit. If you isolate panel A and you listen to the piano part or the electric piano, it's using the NP8 Nefertiti Extra Large. And it's got a little bit of delay, which you might not see here on camera, but you can hear it. And it's subtle. It's not really meant to hit you over the head. In fact, the original album doesn't even sound like it has any delay at all. And there's a little reverb happening here, but not so much that it gets in the way of the sample. Then on B is a more dominant EP2 ideal timbre large with a bright setting and no delay. So this is the part that you're going to hear and that's going to cut through. And together you have a nice full EP sound with a tiny bit of delay in the background. And it'll be a nice, really nice keyboard part for you where you can take this song a little bit further than the original, where this might have been something in the background to just be quietly heard in the corner. I think because of this sound here, you can make a little bit more of a performance out of it and kind of own it a little bit more, I think, with this sound. Plus, you want to have some fun. You don't want to just push one button and let that be your only performance for the whole song. You want to be able to play along with the band. And this is a nice sound to do that in. So that's Eminence Front here on the Nord Stage 3. Let's demo this on the Nord Stage 4 using the new ability to migrate sounds using the Nord Sound Manager from a Stage 3 to a Stage 4. So I'd like to walk you through the process of converting a Nord Stage 3 sound to a Nord Stage 4 sound. This is going to require the very latest Nord Sound Manager. I've got my Nord Stage 4 connected now to the computer, and it's on. That's why you see the sounds appear. And I'm delivering this in the form of a program as well as a sample. And this new version of the Nord Sound Manager is smart enough to combine the two. So it knows that, okay, there's the sample, and it associates it with the program. So you can load either one in any order. Once you have them both loaded, they talk to each other. In other words, the program can see the sample that you loaded so long as you load both the program and the sample. I've also included it as a bundle for those people who want it as a single file. The bundle has the advantage of including both electric pianos that are included on A and B. So that way you don't have to worry about separately wondering and worrying about what electric piano I might have used for the sound. Whether your keyboard has it or not, the bundle will have it. Now, the only danger in that is if you don't have those electric pianos and you find yourself already chock full with no room to spare, then the bundle may not even install without complaining that you need to alleviate some room for the pianos. So those are the things. I'm just going to load the program itself in the sample, and I'll show you what that's like. So I've selected program here, and I can click sound down, and I'll direct this prompt to the Eminence Front sound, which in this case is an NS3F file, which represents the Nord Stage 3 file. Of course, I've got a Stage 4 locked and loaded at the moment, so this will ask it to convert, which it does automatically. One program converted with no issues. That's good. And then we choose where to put it. I'll add it to the bank H. And you might see, this I think is a current bug, you might see that this won't let me download it unless I toggle this and then click that again. Now it lets me download it to bank H. So that seems to me a bug in the program, but I'll download it to bank H. Now the moment I download it, you'll see that it's highlighted, and it also is automatically complaining that it doesn't have the samples associated with this program. It's missing strings, which I don't think we even need, or they're not even on the actual program. And it's missing the sample Eminence Front, which is that arpeggiated synth. But I haven't loaded the synth part yet, so let's do that next. So I'll click on Sample Library, and then click Sound Down, and then locate the sample. Here's the sample. Again, it's in Nord Stage 3 format, or NSMP3 format. We have a Stage 4, so it won't work out of the box, but the moment I click Open, it'll tell me that it needs to convert it. I'll say yes. It's now converted, and I can add it to the bank. In this case, it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to add it to the bank wherever it can fit it, and I'll click Download, and that sound should come over here. It is now downloading into the Nord Stage 4. Now that the sample is loaded, if I go right back to look at the program, here it is, and now you can see it's happy that it found Eminence Front on synth B. It no longer is complaining that it's missing a sample. Now in this case, synth A is still saying it doesn't have the duo strings, but like I already mentioned, we're not using strings on this program as far as I know. So when I get to the actual keyboard, I can reassign it to another sample or completely ignore it altogether, because on synth A, we're not going to need it. All right, now that I've got this, let's go take a look at it on the Nord Stage 4. I'll double click it here. That'll bring it up on the Stage 4, and we'll go analyze it to see how the conversion process went and make sure that it works. Okay, here we are on the Nord Stage 4. The sound hasn't been touched. Let's review it. I'll click Solo, and we'll go to Piano on A. That's the one with the slight delay and a little bit of reverb. So that sounds very similar, if not the same, as the Stage 3. On B, that's louder and more upfront, but it doesn't have any reverb or delay. And as you recall, the B panel was shared with the B synth. So that's the reason why no reverb was put on, because you don't want to add reverb to the sample. But on the stage 4, the effects are completely independent. So I could put reverb here on B. So I'll go ahead and do that. You don't see it here on camera, but I'll add a little bit of a room reverb on a 4, just to give it a little more presence. Okay, then if I solo A, the synth on A, it's saying that the sample is not found. If you recall, earlier in the video, we looked at this being a string sample, which we don't really need, but was just inherited from the stage 3. And then on B, we actually have the Eminence Front sample. Let's just play that here on the C key. Good, and it has the KB hold as well. So that's working great. The only change I want to make, besides adding that reverb that I just did, is swapping these so that the A has the sample and B has nothing. So I can do that here by copying B. So that'll copy synth B. And then I can hold the shift button and push the same button, which becomes a paste. And I want to push A. So now I want synth B to A, and I'll just swap that. So now A has the sample and B has, well, it's copied from B. So we have the Eminence Front, but I don't need that now. I just click analog. So A is where the sample will hide out. And that's it. B will be nothing. And C will be nothing. And we'll make sure those holds don't happen. So I'll exclude the hold on B and C. Not that these are even going to play at all. So this is how it'll be when I first get there. Okay, so we've got what we need here for this song. And of course you can adjust the volumes and things like that. But other than that tweaking, I think it represents really well compared to the stage 3. In other words, it converted it perfectly for the most part. Not all programs work this well, but this one did. So now lock it in, make sure we save it here, and now we've got our sound ready to go on the Nord Stage 4. Thanks for joining me on this video. We'll catch you on the next one.
Won't you come and join the party? Dressed to kill.